Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Pace, and I am glad that you joined me to fight CPS and stop taking our children. This is a live podcast broadcast around the world. You found me on YouTube, and I'm on the StreamYard application broadcasting on YouTube. And this is an interactive podcast about the CPS, which I call the Child Protection System. And a lot of you, including myself, have had experience with how corrupt they are and how they're taking your children. Now, you just heard from my attorney, Mr. Davis. I want to thank him for what he does. And he has a very important podcast tomorrow, questions and answers, on at 10 o'clock. So it's important that you register for it. It'll repeat again at the end of my podcast. Now, I notice that we have someone new here, Love Drawing. Welcome, Love Drawing. If you can hear me, it looks like you came in before the start of the show at 2:56. I don't know if you're there or not. This is a live podcast starting at 3 o'clock, and we have where you can talk to me on this podcast shortly. So welcome, Love Drawing. Now, you probably heard me mention the word CPS. Right off the bat, CPS stands for the Child Protection System, is what I call. It's all the entities out there that deal with the protection of our children from abuse and neglect. Also, furthermore, they're supposed to give to families in need food, shelter, clothing, medical, and education, and also a job and transportation. Can't forget that one either. So that's what they're supposed to do. They're a branch of social services that's mandated to protect our children from neglect or abuse. Not only that, they're supposed to offer you those things I just said: the food, the clothing, the shelter, the education, the medical, and even transportation, and get a job. Also, if they need to take apart your family because your children are endangered, they're supposed to put the family back together, called family reunification. And it seems lately that a lot of the CPS isn't doing that. That's really important because studies have shown that biological parents are the best parents for the children. The biological parents are the best to raise the children. So it's really important they do family reunification, but they don't. Now, I'm on 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, twice a day. That's 14 podcasts I do, and I've been doing that for over a year. And I've talked to over 600 people from around the world. Yes, that's right, I said from around the world. Not only do I talk to all 50 states, including Washington, D.C., I talk to other countries like Bangladesh and India, the Middle East, Africa, Europe, North America, South America, the Pacific, Australia, New Zealand. There's about 17 countries that I've talked to that have CPS issues too. So this show's opened up to everybody that calls in and wants help how they're handling their CPS case. Now, I'm glad you've joined me because I want to help you. I come on typically at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time, and again at nighttime at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And I want you all to know and understand that I'm here to help you. I'm a family man. I'm not a lawyer. I've been married 42 years. I have 6 children. So I have a lot of experience with families. And I too, my wife and I were in a horrible situation with CPS. CPS retaliated on us and kidnapped and stole our youngest daughter, our youngest girl. And that's one of the hardest things for we as a family have to face every time there's a holiday or a time of year we have not seen her. She was taken from us at 12. And she now is 22, and she still hasn't reunited with us. We're also estranged from our older kids because what they heard, they believe. That's the sad part about CPS. There's 2 ways that CPS takes complaints, either from professionals or from laymen. And all they do is they call in and they'll say what they believe is the truth. Well, the problem is a lot of it is not the truth. It's a way for them to retaliate or try to kidnap your children. Now, the professionals are trained, have taken classes in abuse, neglect, and they know how to report. But the people that we really have trouble with are called the lay people. These are your family members, your neighbors, friends, relatives, anybody that doesn't really have children as a job. See, the other ones, the professionals, are teachers and principals and counselors and caregivers and policemen and firemen and doctors and nurses. They all are required to report abuse in their line of work. They've been trained to recognize the abuse. The people that are the neighbor next door maybe doesn't like the way your dog's barking or doesn't like the way your yard's growing on his. So they call in and make up a story that isn't true. A lot of that happens. Then there are the kids that don't get reported, that are need reporting. So that's the sad part. The CPS workers, a lot of them are chasing the easy families, the ones that are low income, the ones that don't know about CPS. They use trickery. They lie. They're not transparent. They don't care about families. They don't care about reunification. That's the bad side, the dark side of the child protection system. Now, whether it's called Department of Children's Services in Arizona or the Cabinet in Kentucky or the Child Protection Services in California or the Department of Children and Families, it's all CPS, the Child Protection System. So when I say CPS, I mean all of them. And every state has counties, and within each county, there is a branch of social services supposed to help protect our children from neglect and abuse. Now, I'm broadcasting on StreamYard, and I'm on the YouTube channel. And there are 4 ways you interact with this podcast. One way is to be in this room, and I'm glad that you joined me in this room. And you can do emojis and take notes and listen to other people have to say and so forth. Please check below to follow and check the notification, be notified. And I love comments. You can make comments. The second way to interact with this podcast is to text me a comment or a question. You're going to text me a message. So when you're typing your messages, please, or your questions that pertain to CPS, please show me your name, first name's fine, your city or county, and the state you're from. Now, if you happen to be from outside the United States, please list your province and country. A lot of you may not have states, you may be in a province, so please list it below. Also, try to be complete with your case. Now, a third way of interacting with this podcast is be a guest on the show. Now, we have a show producer. Her name is Grace, and she works hard behind the scenes, and I thank her. So to schedule as our guest, please email her at grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com. And tell her which one of the 14 shows you want. Saturday morning, Sunday evening, Wednesday morning, Tuesday evening. That's all you have to do. She'll send you a link, and that link is good. If you get knocked off, you can reuse the link in. It's good for the show. Also, she'll tell you what you can do and not do. The fourth way interacting is the phone number. My phone number is 626-698-0990. That's my office number. And if you want to email me, it's bobp@vincentwdavis.com. It's bobp@vincentwdavis.com. And you can email me. Or you can get the phone number, 626-698-0990. I use Vonage as the internet phone schedule. So I'd love to see you there. And so please call in during my show hours. I will not answer the phone before or after my show hours. So now the phone is live. So I've told you 4 ways to interact. And I'll leave them up there. Now, if you want to talk to Mr. Davis, there's several ways you can talk to him. Right now, he has a podcast that you can attend this Saturday. It's free. All you need to do is register, and you'll be able to hear him talk about CPS cases. Now, if you want to talk to him personally, one-on-one, there are 2 ways you can do that. One is you can be a guest on my podcast. I can take up to 9 people on the podcast, and with me, it's 10. And once you're as a guest, and you've been on the podcast, then you qualify for a free 15-minute session with Mr. Davis. Now, as you know, Mr. Davis says he's been practicing for 35 years fighting CPS. He's a dependency juvenile family lawyer. He has experience in juveniles and family and dependency law. That's the attorney you want to find. He has done that. He's also been doing it for 35 years. He's a trial attorney. And furthermore, he's the right guy to fight your case because he's fought CPS on civil lawsuits, both the federal and the state, and won millions of dollars back from them because they either lied or they violated your civil or constitutional rights. Now, my social worker lied. She committed perjury, and she did so in order to take our daughter in revenge. So that's the tragedy of dealing with CPS. They're not very nice. Do not be friendly with them and do not talk to them. Now, I have 5 rules that I've come up with that will help you. Rule number 1, as I mentioned, is you need to get an attorney. And you can also call in at 888-888-6582 and get an attorney, Mr. Davis. Now, I told you about the questions and answers on Saturday. That's free. I also said you get 15 minutes of free consultation, Mr. Davis, if you're a guest on my podcast or you call in and talk on the speakerphone. Further, if you want longer time, like 30 minutes, I got Mr. Davis to give you a special rate price of $60 for 30 minutes. All you need to do is go to the website for that link there. It's the bottom of my screen. And you're going to go to the website there, copy it down, and scroll during the whole show. But that's how you do it. You go to the website, you register, and you pay your $60 for 30 minutes. It'll be a private one-on-one consultation. And whether you use Mr. Davis or not, it's important you talk to him because he can give you so much insights about CPS, the strategies, how to navigate CPS. You'll find that CPS is very corrupt, at least in my cases and over the 600 some people I've talked to. It's been very corrupt. And it seems like it's a worldwide epidemic because they found a way to make money. All they do is that the federal government gives money directly to the state, and all the state does is request the money, and no matter what they ask, there's no questions about how the money's being spent. And then they give it out to the counties. And it's sad because it's endless amount of money, because they're in it for the bonuses and the incentives. They're certainly not in it to help restore families or do family reunifications, at least in my case, and over the 600 some people I talked to. Now, I've had social workers on here, 3 of them. That's great, but I'd like to have some more, including the police. I'd like them to be guests on my podcast. I want to hear how they do the CPS. So now that you've set in here and you're listening, you're probably wondering what to do. And you're free to text me a message or to call in or set to be a guest, and I will help you. I want to help you there because CPS is corrupt. They're not your friend. They will use you. The reason why I came with these rules is I didn't know better. When I was taken into CPS, me and my wife floundered. We did not know that her family was calling in, her mom and dad, her 3 sisters, and her brother. But that's the sad part about things. They were held turned to motives. They wanted our children. And CPS wants your children because they get money for it. And President Clinton signed an act that there's an incentive for putting them into foster care. They need not to have them hang out there for family reunification. He kind of ruined that. So I'm telling you right now, it's really sad the number of children that are put into foster care that are abused by foster care families. Not only the foster care, they may have children of their own and they bully the new kids, or the parent may molest the kid. See, that's the sad part, is that they treat the kids as inferior. And that's hard to understand, but that's how they do it there. So rule number 1 is you need to get an attorney. And you probably say, well, I got a court-appointed attorney. Well, the court-appointed attorney is somebody that has a caseload of 30 more clients. They're a criminal lawyer. They're not a family juvenile dependency lawyer. And they're very new, and they don't have time for your case. They'll just go through the motions. They really won't fight for your kids to get back. So you got to be careful about them. And again, I challenge any of the workers or policemen listening to this podcast to please call in and share me how you work with the families to have a CPS glitch. I know that there are family members that do have problems with drugs or problems about how to take care of a child. And there are parenting classes that you can take. Also, there is programs such as anger management, domestic violence. These programs are really important to take. And it's hard because you're going through the agency that is very corrupt. They're not your friend. I always say it's like you're Alice in Wonderland, you fall in the rabbit hole. And you talk to the Cheshire cat who puts you in room after room. Hi there, Faye. Hello, welcome, Faye. Faye is from Kentucky. Faye Manley, she's been on my show numerous times. She's a single mom with 2 children. And unfortunately, her childhood she was brought up in foster care, in and out 5 different times. And through her early years, her adolescent years, and her teenage years. And they really abused her, raped her, molested her, made her, tortured her. They did everything you could think underneath the sun. And then somehow she got a high school degree and then got a college degree and was working as a nurse. Then she decided she wanted children. So she had a boy first, who's a special needs boy, and then a daughter later. Now, the age difference between them are quite different. I think when she had her son, I think he was 15 at the time. And so now she's 12 years old. Now, Faye has mentioned something about social workers' knowledge place them in felon sex offenders, and child abusers. Yep, Faye's right about that. Social workers will place them in terrible um, foster care parents that are felons, sex offenders, and child abusers' homes. Furthermore, these same workers also go to jail for beating up their own children. Yep, they go to jail. I thought they get away with it. But anyway, these social workers. For beating up their own children. No. Okay, her son was 10. I'm mistaking you, Faye. I try to remember everything. They're 11 years difference. Anyway, she was told to pick one of her children to keep, either her daughter or her son. Her son was a special needs son. And so she picked her son, not because she wanted to. It was a choice that the social workers were given. They wanted her daughter and they wanted to adopt her. Now, what's so strange about that, she was given another non-family member to watch on the weekends. And she did that all the time. And then later, she did not formally adopt him, but she took him in and raised him to his 18. So how could she take care of her son, a special needs son, and another child, and then she couldn't take care of a daughter? That's really strange. That's really strange with the system there. Yes, they do get away with it. The social worker was arrested, signed herself out, no bond, and still got to be with her kids. She's talking about a social worker in Richmond, Kentucky that was so bad. She had charges against her. And because she's a social worker, she had special privileges where she could sign herself out, did not have to post a bond, and got to be with her kids. So the importance of having an attorney is to make sure that you can get your child back, because you need someone that is trained and qualified to get your children back. And it's really hard because your court appointed ones are just a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Now, I think rule number 3 is the most important rule, because it's where you first interact with the social workers. You're not supposed to open your door. If you open your door, there's a chance you could be killed. Too many people have been killed opening the door. Furthermore, if you open the door, that means you gave them permission, and then you're going to have them in your home. That means you give them permission. Now they're in your home, they're going to search your home. You do not want them to search your home. You don't want them in your home. And you like to meet to them at a neutral place like Starbucks or McDonald's. And that way you can record everything that's happening, because you need them in a public place. And you certainly don't want them at your home, because they'll look for something to charge you with. Now we have a person who's a YouTuber, and they post the name Not Complain campaign. Any advice on a step parent getting guardianship? Well, anybody can ask for guardianship. And Faye will tell you right there. Yeah, Faye's talking how a foster child was placed with her on the weekend. And so she said she was unfit because she couldn't take her daughter, but how come she can take care of a foster kid and her own son? Now, there is a way you can do a guardianship. Um, Don't Complain campaign. I have no idea. I don't think that's your name, but what is your first name and where are you located? Your city or your county and your state. If you could tell me that, Don't Complain. And a little bit about your case, because you can get guardianship. You can get guardianship. There's a way you can do that. Okay. So Faye is talking about the child that she watched for the CPS organization. She was actually watching the child on the weekends because they knew that she was a good mother, but still they took her away from her daughter. Okay, Don't Complain campaign is Eric Johnson. Welcome, Eric. And you're from the Alameda County in Oakland, California. Well, welcome, Don't Complain, or Eric. I'm glad that you're here. Now, you want to get a guardianship of these children. Are you like a grandparent, or are you the father, biological father of these kids? You will have to prove yourself capable. Faye is saying you can get guardianship, but you have to prove yourself capable financially, physically, and pass the background checks. Pass the background checks. And they can be pretty intensified. So, Eric, would you be the father wanting guardianship? Or are you just a friend of the child? Or are you a grandparent? Now, Eric says CPS took my stepdaughter from the mother, and now she is placed in a group home. I'm trying to get guardianship. I've been in her life for 14 years, and her dad passed away. Well, I'm sorry to hear about her dad passed away, but to get guardianship, you can do it. It just takes time. Faye has asked a question: are the children in the system already? Where are the children at the moment? Where are the children at the moment, Eric? If they are, you have to motion the court to intervene. You got to motion the court to intervene. You need to get an attorney. You need to get an attorney. Eric says she was just placed in a group home today. Oh boy. So your stepdaughter was just placed in a group home today. Well, you have to become a guardian. You're going to have to be vetted, meaning you got to be checked out your background. And you got to have a place and a job and everything to be a guardianship, and how you're going to take care of your stepdaughter. But it can be done in Oakland County, California, is where the case is. So, Eric, it can be done. It's best if you could get an attorney that deals in dependency law, family juvenile dependency law. And maybe ask them, have they done a guardianship? Then Faith says further, then file a motion to intervene with the case. So you got to file a motion to intervene with the case. And you need to be recognized as a capable parent to guardianship there. You say you've had 12 years with that child. That's really a good length of time. You need to stress what your 12 years with that child was. So you make sure you file that motion. Make sure you file that motion to intervene in the case. Okay, Eric says he's financially stable. He's got an extra room at his home, and my record got expunged. So I guess you got a clean record, which is good. Faye says, and ask for guardianship, since the child has a strong bond with you, being with you for 12 years. You want to make sure you ask for guardianship. It will be the least restrictive placement and less traumatic if you become a guardian of the daughter, of your stepdaughter. That's good, Faye. I'm glad you're helping me with that. Now, Eric, if you want to call in, my phone number is alive, 626-698-0990. Faye, if you want to call in, my number is 626-698-0990. And we can talk and try to help out Eric here. Now, Faye says, you ask for guardianship since the child has a strong bond with you. Now, Faye also says they're supposed to place the child with their family, like you are. Now, schools, community, churches, etc., and have close bond ties. Meaning kin or family. So being a step parent is not a bad thing, Eric. It's not a bad thing, and you'll be able to get your child. Now, Faye says her son was 10 when I held my daughter. They're 11 years difference there. They do get away with it. I've far my pointer came down here. Now, Faye says they're supposed to place the child within their familiarity, like the school, the churches, etc., with close bond ties, meaning kin or family. So thank you, Faye. What's happened is that there are 8 rooms that come in here and they bump your conversation all over the place. So I'm down at the bottom there. So you can do this, Eric. And you just have to get a file motion, but you need that attorney because you're dealing with a really hard case law. It's not easy to work in dependency law with family or juveniles. It's really hard. So you understand that, Eric? Did you understand what you need to do? Hi there, Faye. Glad you could call in.
That last comment, Bob, what I was trying to say was, it says that they're supposed to place the child within their familiarity, like their schools that they attend, their community, their church, etc., and with the closest bond ties, meaning with kin or family friend.
Yeah, Eric has been with that girl, her stepdaughter, for 12 years. So there's a lot of familiarity. And so he has a good chance of being a guardianship. He just has to file that motion to do that in Oakland County, California. That's where the case is, up Northern California.
Yeah.
So, Eric, do you understand what Faye is trying to convey? She's trying to tell you that. Hopefully, Eric is still there. People come and go in this room so quick, it's hard to keep track of them.
Yeah.
So, how are you doing today, Faye?
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
Having a better day than yesterday.
Well, that's certainly an improvement. I wish I could say the same, but it seems like it's still a nightmare with worrying about where to put my car and trying to take care of the family. I got a chance to order some turkey for the family. We'll see how that goes.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's thankful to Mr. Davis, though. That was really nice of him.
Yeah.
So I got a turkey ordered. I got asparagus for the vegetables. I got mashed potatoes. I got pumpkin pie for dessert. I got dinner rolls and a nice organic turkey that's supposedly well cooked. All I have to do is heat it up. And I think I have 8 items. I think I covered it all. Gravy is another thing I have. And
what about stuffing?
And stuffing. Yes, I got stuffing too.
Cranberry?
No, I didn't get cranberry because not too many people like that.
I love cranberry sauce.
Yeah, well, I've been unsuccessful every year. I have.
I don't get the jelly kind. Get the jelly kind. I get the actual whole cranberries and sauce.
Right. That I think is probably better. But anyway, I've ordered the Thanksgiving meal, and I'm surprised. Everything is for a family of 4, except the turkey's for 8 people. That's the smallest turkey they have. It serves 8 people. Yeah. But we'll have enough for sandwiches, so that sounds good.
Oh, you can make a lot of stuff with leftover turkey.
Yeah, I agree. And after Thanksgiving, there's sales in the store.
Yeah, so, plus you can freeze the turkey, too, if you don't eat it.
Yep, you're right. I could cut off the slices and do that. So all I have to do is spend about 90 minutes preparing the meal, and then I can serve it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to try to clear a dining room table that seats 8 and serve it there and see how that goes. Now, Eric, are you still there? I was wondering if Eric's still there. Eric's from Oakland, California, that wants to do a guardianship. Faye is from Richmond, Kentucky. And she's from a horrible state of Kentucky where they let social workers, abuse their children and then they don't go to jail.
Oh, no, she went to jail. The social worker went to jail for it, but the only reason she even got arrested for it was because her kids went to the emergency room with the father because of the injuries they sustained from the mother, which was the social worker. And the hospital emergency room called in and had her, arrested.
Well, you know what?
She went to jail.
Right.
She went to jail, and she wasn't even in there, but maybe a total of an hour, maybe 2.
Didn't
and she signed herself out.
That's what I'm saying. She signed
didn't even have to
herself
pay a
out.
bond.
So, that
Huh?
whole thing is strange because she abused her children and she gets to work. She still works and holds her job.
She got to go home with her kids too. She's still home with them.
Yeah. See, I don't understand the rationality in that at all. I don't understand that at all. It just shows how corrupt that CPS is. The child protection system is really bad across the country. There's no question about that.
Well, I mean, that's not any different than the social workers taking and telling their the supervisors over the social workers, making the social workers take and place children in the homes with sex offenders and pedophiles and child abusers and felons.
Yeah.
And if they refuse to do it, then they fire the social worker.
Right. Well, I did mention my rules really quickly. I was on rule number 3 where we said you don't talk to social workers. We don't allow them in our home because they're going to go fishing and they'll find things that will turn against you. So you don't need to. They have to have permission to get in the home, or there's got to be violence taking place with the children. There's violence taking place, they're going to come into the home. Then there's that court order, the warrant, that gives specific instructions they can come in the home. And so the best thing to do when you talk to a social worker, if you're outside, say that you're going to try to get your attorney and you'll meet with them. And you don't want to meet at their office or at your home. You want to meet at a public place like McDonald's or Starbucks. That way you can record it in the public light. And so you got to document everything. You got to really document everything. Then you got to watch out for the medical trafficking. That's where a child is sick, and as a good parent, you take them into emergency or urgent care. And there happens to be a social worker there, and the social worker suddenly take your children. It's wrong, but they do. Or if you're pregnant and you go and have a child, they'll take your baby from you when it's just stillborn. It's crazy what they'll do. So you need to not talk to social workers at the hospital or urgent care. Don't give them the opportunity.
Listen to what happened to me. So my son was probably about 9.5.
Okay.
And we lived in the big complex where you could see from where you lived at to the sidewalk of the buildings in front.
Okay.
So my son, he wanted a bike for his birthday. I bought him a bike and I taught him to ride it, like literally in one day. And I told him, I said, well, here, you have to wear the helmet anytime you're on this bike. I said, if I catch you taking your helmet off, the bike will get took away from you. I said, because you have to wear it. And so one day it was hot out. It was in the summer. I was doing laundry. My son was outside with his friends riding his bike. He had his helmet on when I went in to put the laundry away and get the laundry out of the dryer. Within the time it took me to get the laundry out of the back dryer, fold it, and put it away in the drawer, his friend come running up and I was pregnant at the time with his sister. His friend come running up the steps. Oh my God, you gotta come! I'm like, oh my God, what's happened? They're like, I said, did he get hit or something by a car? They're like, no, but he wrecked his bike and he's hurt pretty bad. And I'm like, oh my God. So I don't even think I ran down the steps. I think I jumped half of them trying to get there quick.
Wow.
I had my keys in my hand, and by the time I got to the end of the driveway, he comes stumbling down the driveway, and I could tell that he was knocked unconscious.
Oh my God.
At some point. Yeah, so I picked him up and I run in the house with him, and I'm like, oh my God. So I laid him out on the couch. I'm checking him over and everything. I go ahead and call the ambulance, and while the ambulance is getting there, I'm filling him over and I'm looking at him. Of course, he has road burns and skids from the concrete all over him. And then then when I got to his head, I about passed out because he had a knot on his head the size of a baseball.
Wow.
And it was under his hair, so you couldn't see it because his hair was blocking it. And I was like, oh my gosh. So he goes to the hospital. Of course, I'm in tow with him, and we're there. They do scans of his head and everything. The doctor comes back out, and he jumps all over me. He says, what are you thinking? Why would you have him outside riding a bike with no helmet? I said, ho, 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 ho. Excuse me. I said, do not assume anything. I said, he had a helmet. He had a helmet on. I said, but for whatever reason, he says that he took it off because he got hot and wanted his head to breathe for a minute. I went in to fold some clothes. I wasn't gone maybe 5 minutes. And I came back out and he had wrecked his bike. He says, okay. He says, do you have the helmet? He says, I want to see it. I'm like, okay, sure. I said, thankfully, I brought it with me. So I had to go out to the car and get the helmet. This was a doctor at the emergency room. Are you good, Bob?
Yeah, I'm good.
Bob.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm good here.
Okay.
My problem is I have
Anyway.
lag. Lag on the show is making my eyes look, they're always closed, but I'm wide awake.
Okay. So anyway, I went in, I got the helmet, I brought it back to the doctor, and it was all banged up and everything and stuff, and he was like, it's a good thing that you brought this helmet in. He said, because if you hadn't brought the helmet in, I was going to call CPS on you.
Wow.
I was like, wow. I'm like, I didn't know what to think. I just sat there.
Well, they are
like,
trained.
wow.
They are professional. Doctors are trained to know how to report neglect or abuse. And if you don't have a helmet on, then that is neglect. That's neglect.
Yeah, well, he had a helmet on. He took it off. But I provided a helmet. If I had not had that helmet and shown that I at least provided a helmet for him to wear, I would have lost my child that day.
Wow. That is close.
Yep. That's why I shake my head. That's why I shake my head when I see all these little kids out here riding bikes with no helmets on.
Yep, and that's typical. They do that a lot. I think we've lost our guy Eric from
He's not been on here for a while, Bob.
Who hasn't?
He hasn't been on here for a while.
Oh, the last time he said anything, it was 3:30. It's almost 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
It was 3:40. The last comment.
About...
He has not been on here for like 15 minutes. I was just asking if he's still there because I cannot tell. I have all these numbers that tell me how many people are in here, but there's other people in here that if you don't text, I don't see if they're in the room or not. This is so weird. I could see there are 2 or 3 people, and then there may be 10 people behind the scenes. Because right now the eyeball says only one person. And let's see if that's you. Okay, that one person is in what room? Did you come in the reality series? Faye?
I think so.
Well, it says there's a person from the reality series. There's one person. I assume that's you.
Yeah.
So maybe it only tells me, but
Yeah, it's only me.
Yeah, sometimes there are people in here that don't show up on the eyeball thing. They come straight into my room. But anyway, we're getting close to 4 o'clock here. It's about 2 minutes away. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I'm good. Don't got enough time to.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody for calling in. Remember the rules I told you about: getting an attorney, doing your paperwork, say no to social workers and police, and watch medical trafficking. There's 2 other rules that are simple. One is Rule 4, the search on the internet. Enter your city and the state, and then enter the word CPS, the letter CPS, and then type in what you're looking for. Operation Manual, the ICWA 1978 Act, the 388 motion, anything you want to find about CPS, and spend a good 60 hours. You'll learn so much more. And lastly is the rule that Faye always comes up with, is a folder of important documents, like the birth certificates of the children, the marriage certificates of the husband and wife, the Social Security card, your driver's license, your medical records, the children's medical records, their health records, their school records, etc. You can make copies, but put it all in a folder so you have those documents with you ready. So I want to thank everybody that is coming to the room today. I know it's early afternoon. I came on at 3 o'clock, but remember tomorrow I come on at 8 o'clock. The podcast from Mr. Davis at 10 o'clock, which will be shown very shortly. And then on top of that, on Sunday, I'm on at 8 o'clock because of church. So Saturday night and Sunday night, it's 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. In the morning, it's 8 a.m. and 8 a.m. Saturday and Sunday Pacific Standard Time. So God bless you all. Thank you, Eric, for coming in and joining us from Alameda County. And especially thank you, Faye. You're a remarkable woman, and you do make so much help to me in my room. So God bless you all. And this is and listen to what Mr. Davis has to say, because I'm ready to sign off. This is Bob Pace. Say God bless, and I'm signing.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out. Join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.